Well, I'm a Google girly. It has to be the bananas because it's like this fruit fly. You couldn't find another time to be making an appearance. Girl, I'm 100% wool. This is actually one of them that I just made not too long ago. And I also want to have the half elastic waistband with the belt loops and stuff like that, and it needs to be comfy with the pockets on the side. They have this guava drink, and another one is like million peaches or million of peaches or something. One is with peach and the other one is with guava. Yes, the meatballs. Oh my gosh. What? Hola mi gente, hello everyone. If you're new here, I am Alfonsina, designer of minimal fashion and handmade goods. Check out my websites, shopalfonsina.com and ladosimple.com for more info. In this video is one of my favorites. I think I always say that to every single video that I make because I love creating content. But it's the highlights of the month. Happy February to me. It was an amazing month. February, you know, is the shortest month. But it just, you know, February is gonna be February. A lot has happened, and you know, the point of these videos, by the way, is to highlight pretty much the good things that happen in life, because being negative is easy. I always try to highlight the good things, you know, the happy things, the progress, the this and that, the this and that. Of course, I am going to share with you some of the lows sometimes when it happens, if it's worth mentioning, because I am a true believer that if you cannot fix my problems, I have no business sharing with you. So this month of February has been amazing. It has been such a beautiful month, especially here in Phoenix. The weather has been amazing. We got a couple of days of rain the other day, which is kind of weird, I think, for February, but we had the rain. It was amazing. One of them was in the nighttime, the entire night on I believe it was a Thursday going through Friday, and it rained the entire night. So when I woke up in the middle of the night, that's when I realized that it was raining hard, and it happened to be a little short of 2 a.m. And I'm like, yay, I still have so many hours to rest and sleep, and knowing that it's raining really made it very special. Before we go into any other highlights of the month, I always, as you know, in my other highlights of the month video, it's a series that I have. So whenever I have the chance to do my compilation of the highlights of the month, I like to start by doing kind of like a brief summary of the content that has been shared already throughout the month. So right now I want to go over the very first blog post that I did this month. Before I get into that, I just want to remind you something, because I think I have already shared it. I share it briefly, I believe, in one of my Instagram stories. Now I have always had two different websites for my small business, but I want to keep one of them was Lado Simple, which is it was mainly, when I created that website, it was mainly for decor, to do my art, my handmade art, very simple. Everything in my life is simple and practical and chic and timeless and amazing. But I wanted to do that. I created a website in 2020 during the pandemic, and it was mainly to start documenting my decor style. Because in that apartment that I was in 2020, it was horrible. And I couldn't get myself out of that situation because I literally just moved in, and it was one of those scenarios like they were not showing you the apartment because the pandemic, and I ended up getting the keys of the apartment, and it was not what they described it was going to be. So I had to live that experience, and I'm like, okay, after praying to God and getting on my knees, like, okay, I don't know what happened, but this was not the deal that we agree on. Anyway, after praying and crying and doing all that stuff, I'm like, okay, how can I make this place livable? And it's not that it was falling apart or anything like that. It's just that it was not a renovated unit. It still had the old style with old carpets, and it was not the standard of cleanness that I told them I needed for my space and for the price. But anyway, I ended up just praying, and I'm like, how can I make margarita out of these lemons? Thanks to that situation, I ended up creating ladosimply.com and my YouTube channel, and it was mainly to document my decor aesthetic with the neutrals and the desert living style. So I was only putting in there decor, my handmade pillow covers, like most of the pillow covers in my house are handmade by me, and art. I took a Saturday afternoon to paint the art that I still have in this house that I am living right now, and that's all I wanted to share in there. But as time has progressed, that has been 5 years later, I decided that, well, 6 years later now, I have decided to separate both of the websites and just keep my ladosimply.com for my handmade goods and accessories and merch and like products sales. And my shopalfonsina.com is mainly for my sewing services, for alterations or custom designs and anything that is related to sewing and services and embroidery and monogramming. You can find all those things on my shopalfonsina.com, and you can book your appointments to come to my studio if you're in need for alteration services and all the other sewing services that I offer. I wanted to clarify that in these highlights because I don't think I did like a proper introduction of what happened with the two websites. And I just want you to be informed that ladosimply.com is going to be for my handmade goods and accessories and sunglasses and stuff like that. And my other one is for my services, merch, services, two different websites under one roof for Alfonsina Studio. So now into the situation at hand. The first post that I did, oh my gosh, I always say that let's just do a brief video. And I always say so much because I have so much to say. I have so much to say. You can probably see now that because of those changes that I did on my websites, on both of my websites, I also decided to make changes on my personal blog, which is pompomsalonflowers.com. People were like, Alfonsina, why do you have so many platforms? It's because things need to be where they belong. There are things that I need to share, more personal, whatever. It's like my Pom Pom Salon and Flowers is my lifestyle. Is what I do behind the scene when I'm not dealing with clients, when I'm not doing other stuff. Is where I feel free to talk about different topics and subjects and people and share my friends and travels and things like that. So that is not something that I wanted to mix with my company website because, personal life is personal life and then business is business. I didn't want to commingle the two. But again, in a way, it's like an ecosystem because when you go to shopalfonsina.com, there is a link on the top of the website that takes you to my personal blog, and there is a link that takes you to ladosimple.com. Everything is integrated and easily organized, that you can find everything in one website. pompomsalonflowers.com personal blog also has gone through a change, because now I am going to be sharing, that's where I have like the freedom and the space to talk more about things of interest. And I want to use that platform to be a little more educational when it comes to the stylings and the suggestions and the products and the colors and the fabrics and things like that. Because I want to keep my other platforms for my company just for that, to just show you the finished products, be very straightforward what my studio offers when it comes to sewing and products and things like that. But my personal blog is it's like a magazine of the behind the scene of what I do, and the subjects and the suggestions and everything that I want to tell you in more details. So I added 2 things. One of them is going to be the topic for fashion. So basically on my YouTube channel, because whatever changes I make on my blog, they also happen on my YouTube channel, because for this blog the information has to be very similar. So you can either read it or you can listen to it when you're driving or just in your house cleaning your house. You want to play my videos, that way you can hear what I'm saying. 2 things that are of great importance when it comes to education for my businesses, because I do a lot of handmade things, and a lot of people sometimes don't think that whatever I'm modeling is made by me. And that is amazing, because the goal for me is like, when I make something like this whole outfit, I made it. People think like, oh, you bought that. I'm like, no, I made it from scratch. And I love it, because I love making things from scratch. One thing that people don't know is like, it's not that I have a clothing line available. This is like handmade to order, and it's not inexpensive, because I pay attention to the composition. I use linen, cotton, wool, and silk. Especially wool and silk is very expensive. These pants right here, the price per yard is almost $100 if I were to get it in the US. I ended up getting this Italian wool in the Dominican Republic for about $40 a yard, something like that, which is drastically cheaper over there for the same material. But if you factor in the expenses, the travel ticket, because they don't do shipping, so I literally have to go in person to pick it up, buy the ticket, pick it up, pay the luggage fees and all that kind of stuff. So when you factor all those fees in, it's gonna equal probably close to $100 or more per yard. Since I live in the United States, my business is in the United States, in Phoenix, Arizona, I like to use materials that I can find either online within the US, or I can go and pick it up in person in Los Angeles, or locally in some of the few fabric stores that we have here in Phoenix. That's like one thing I hate about Arizona, that is so limited when it comes to fashion stuff, but I make it work. So I like to use my resources that I can easily get a hold of, either in person, either going to Los Angeles in person to pick up the fabric, or fabrics that I can count on online, that I know that the stock is legit. If you are interested in any of my handmade items, which I mainly do my closet for inspiration and use my custom items as a kind of like as a service of inspiration for you, to kind of like give you ideas of how to style your closets and your your outfits with a minimal approach. But the main service of my fashion studio is Alterations. And I do wear custom clothing. Almost all of my outfits are handmade by me with high-end quality materials. But if you are interested in me making you a suit and a top and skirt, no, it's gonna be minimal designs with high-end quality materials, and it's not going to be cheap. The platform that I have on pompomsunflowers.com, kind of like a little mini magazine of behind the scene of Alfonsina Fashion Studio and other things that I do in my personal life, like traveling and cooking. I love cooking. I love dinner parties for my friends, smaller groups, obviously. But those are like the things that I do, even the beauty product, the beauty hair products, beauty products that I use, everything is like minimal, but it has to make sense and work for me, for my skin, for my hair. And I like sharing all of that stuff. So consider my personal blog as a little lifestyle magazine of information that is of interest of me, that I believe is beneficial for you if you are in the more minimal, neutral, aesthetic lifestyle. The first blog post that I did was how to build a small but powerful work wardrobe. So that is like one of the things that I changed. Now every month I am going to be talking about fashion stuff, fashion made simple. That's how I title it on my YouTube channel. And I'm making a video of that as well. So I'm gonna be talking about fabrics. That one was, I think I did talk a little bit about fabric composition on that one, but it was mainly about how to build kind of like a capsule closet wardrobe situation that makes sense to you. And it doesn't even have to be neutral colors. If you are a colorful person, then use the favorite colors that you like and put it together. It's that simple. Anything that is kind of like related to fashion that represents my fashion studio, I'm gonna be talking about it there to teach, to be of knowledge to you. And I really hope that you enjoy it. And the other section that I did is also related to fashion, but it's going to be dedicated to styling. So on that one, I'm gonna be talking about the accessories that I am highlighting on my Shop Alfonsina Instagram platform and on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna be going through those accessories, let it be merch that I get from my vendors, or the handmade goods that I do, like my scrunchies and my bags and things, anything handmade that I sell on my website. I am going to be going in details in that video of each monthly product that I want to feature to you. So I'm really excited about that. And on that section as well, I am going to be talking about a person of interest. And the person of interest is always going to be people that I admire, let it be people that I know in person, or mainly, celebrities or people in doing big things that I admire. I'm going to be talking about them, briefly, what they do, what do I like about them, blah, blah, blah. Main thing for choosing someone is also their style, the way that they dress, and, getting photos to give you ideas of how you can be a minimal, girly, but still look like that girl. So those are like the two new sections that I added to my blog to make it a little more educational, and that way my personal blog can be intertwined a lot with my fashion business. I am keeping the topic of the month that I like to do, just a random topic, also very knowledgeable, is mainly things of interest, of personal interest for me, but topics about productivity and organization and this and that, how to kind of like better yourself as a as an individual, because that's always my goal in life, to be a better person, to be a better human, more kind to society, I guess. So I am keeping that intact because I really love that section. I have been doing it for several months now, and is being well received. Based on the analytics, that's how I know. When you look at the analytics behind all the platforms, that's when you know. Like, pay attention to those numbers, because that's what's telling you. When no one is telling you whether they like it or not, the numbers don't lie. So analytics tells me what is being well received by the people, my audience, the people listening to my YouTube channels or reading and checking out my content that I am doing on Instagram or on my different websites and platforms. Now is like the highlights of the month. So I kind of wanted to fill you in. This is probably going to be a longer video than I wanted it to be, because it was very necessary for me to explain the changes that I have made to all the 3 websites that I have, so you have a better understanding. My goal is for things to be as clear as possible, and I think it's being translated that way. I only have a few people asking me, so what is it that you do? Well, there you go. And it's easy to explain it, you know. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's totally fine. But I will be happy to explain it whenever you have any kind of questions. Now you know that my pompomsaloonflowers.com is my lifestyle behind the scene for my business type of situation, mini magazine for education topics. Sometimes I will throw a recipe in there because I like cooking, all of that stuff. So the other 2 are just strictly for what my business does, which is fashion, minimal fashion, and handmade goods. So I hope that makes sense. The first topic that I did in the month of February, that one went on February 2nd, how to build a small but powerful work wardrobe. And I am going to keep it simple. Just go and read it, because I used the first section of this video to explain all the changes, so I really don't want to go into too much detail on each post. Go and read it at pompomsaloonflowers.com. The second one that I did was topic of the month, how to reset when you are feeling off track. And that one was very important because that is something that I have been dealing with since last year, feeling a little bit off. And here's the thing, it's so interesting because it's not that I don't know what needs to be done. It's like, because I know how much needs to be done, what needs to be done, and how to get it done, then I get overstimulated to the point that I'm like, it's all very exciting, and I wish I had 2 of me to help me. And it's very hard to find people that know what they are doing when it comes to sewing, because I am very particular with the service that I offer to my clients, that I just can't rely on someone saying, oh, I know how to sew a button. No, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? If you can, then unfortunately you are not fit for my business. So sometimes I just get so overwhelmed with the fact, like, I wish I had someone that knew what they were doing so we can figure something out. And then it takes my energy away, and then I just feel like off track, or like, how can we figure this out? That was a beautiful topic, because it's like, I think the first one that I did on that one, like the first suggestion was cleaning your space. Let's see, yeah. Reset my space. That was like number 1. And it include, cleaning, putting things back where they belong, and create an open, calm surface again. And then I went into resetting my schedule, resetting my habits, resetting my mindset, and resetting my boundaries. And how all of that is not that you're starting over all the time. It's just sometimes you just have to sit down, take several seats, and refocus. Because nowadays there's so many things taking our attention away that then you forget that this is it, this is what was working. Do not lose that. Stay in the path. Sit down, do a little research for a day or two, but this is what's working. Keep it going. So check it out because I really enjoyed that one, and the video for it in YouTube was really cool. The one about how to build a small but powerful work wardrobe was very well accepted in YouTube. It has, I don't know, like a 90 or like 100, almost 100 views. And to me, that's a big deal because I'm not famous at all. I'm not here doing thousands of views. No, I enjoy my content and I am just sharing what I find useful for me and hopefully beneficial and informative for you. So when I get those views like that, like I'm like, oh my God, almost 100 people have seen this. This is so cool. Same thing with my Instagram reels and my stories and stuff like that. Like my reels get, a couple hundreds of views, most of them. And it's like, this is so exciting because I'm just putting content out there. I'm not really doing it for like the big numbers or none of that stuff. Like that makes no, it makes no difference. The amount of views and likes makes no difference to me getting my business going. That has, like, I still get income from Instagram by sharing the content, whether people like it or not, if that makes sense. So that's why I feel like I'm in a very sweet spot when it comes to being a content creator for my own small business because I'm doing it and I'm enjoying it. And therefore it's getting, to my clients, to friends, to family or whatever. When someone tells me that they found me on Instagram, I'm like, what? That is so cool. Because I just put the content to keep my presence going that match the vibe of my little company. I have also had people finding me on Reddit, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Now, when I heard that, that really made me feel a certain kind of way because Reddit is a big deal. Reddit. And I have had 3 or 4 people in the past 3 months, I think, oh, I found you on Reddit. I'm like, what? Should I be scared? Oh my God, that was like so cool to me. And then of course I have my people, finding my small business for sewing on Yelp and Google. I'm a Google girly. It has to be the bananas because it's like this fruit fly. You couldn't find another time to be making an appearance, girl. Anyway, back into the situation at hand. I am having so much fun, creating the content when I can. Sometimes I try to be as consistent as I can, but sometimes, I'm skipping a week here and there. Then another week I'm sharing all the content that I have already created for you. Just as a way of support, always go to my YouTube and my blog pages and my website because that's where the real support happens. That is it for covering the post and the changes and all of that stuff. I don't even know how long this video is at this point. I'm gonna try to trim it as much as I can because now I have more to say. The next thing that I want to say is oh my goodness, I am not a football girly. But we had the halftime with Bad Bunny, and that was legendary. That was part of history. That was beautiful. That was everything. So I had a small little gathering with a couple of my girlfriends in here, and we had the best time just shaking it to Benito. And it was so good. It was so good. A very meaningful halftime show. If you know, you know. I had a great time just having some tequila, some drinkaroo, some good music. And after that, we ended up going to Modern Margarita, which is one of my favorite spots right here at City North by Desert Ridge. Ended up with a couple of tacos and one extra margarita, and that's how we wrapped the night. It was beautiful and we had so much fun keeping each other's company in such an amazing afternoon. I found a good spot that my friend Teresa introduced me to. It's called Evil in Scottsdale. It's on Scottsdale Road, and I don't know the other street, but that place I love. It's like my new spot. Just like Palma in downtown Phoenix, love that place. Need to go back very soon before it gets too hot because I like me the little fire pit that they have in the patio. So Evo is that place. So far we have been there twice. Great time, great drinks. They have this guava drink and another one is like million peaches or million of peaches or something. One is with peach and the other one is with guava. Yes. And this last time when we went, we tried the meatballs. Oh my gosh. What? Also tried the steak. Oh my goodness, how do you call those? Bruschetta. The steak bruschetta. I ended up sharing it with my friend because I forgot to mention to do my steak well done, and I didn't. I forgot. I was so excited just to be in the place because when I like a place, like the ambience and stuff like that, we're sitting in the couches. They have a little area with like a couple of couches and sofas or whatever. So that's like my vibe. That's my vibe so much. Just a couple of drinks, and I'm not even drinking like that. It's just like that. I wanted to have that drink again because it was so delicious, and then we tried the different foods and stuff like that. But the steak bruschetta was delicious with whatever sauce they put on it. But I didn't eat it because I don't eat. My steak needs to be well done. I don't like no pink in my meat. But the first bite that I took to try it, it was delicious with whatever sauce they had. It was like a black sauce. It looked like a soya sauce, but I don't know how they call it. It was delicious. And the bread was some sort of like brown bread. It was so good. But I knew that I was not gonna eat all that meat looking raw. So I ended up just having pizza, margarita pizza. I like the margarita pizza, but it's missing some seasoning. Like it needs more salt and pepper. I really don't know what it is, but for the most part, I love margarita pizzas wherever I go. That is a safe dish for me. And but the meatballs, definitely having the meatballs next time I'm there with a drink. I don't need anybody else. I don't need nothing else but those meatballs because they are huge and I don't know. I think they put 3 or 4 in the plate. It's well worth it. So the ambience is great. They have their bar area, and we were like sitting in this lounge area and then looking at all the beautiful people coming in and out, sitting in the bar, beautiful girls. It's just like so beautiful, like admiring people, well dressed, looking on point. And I absolutely love that. We were also getting the same energy from some girlies and people in there because we were very modest dressed. We went there after one of our spiritual meeting, and they are open super late. They are like open until like 2 a.m. I believe it is. So people were admiring the way that we looked and how the vibe that we were having in our little section. So it was just a beautiful night. I do have to say some of the front people that work there, they're slightly not as friendly, I guess, for lack of better term. Little snobbish or something. I don't know what it is, because when it comes to customer service, I always say you need to treat your people like $1,000,000, especially when they come to places like that, because evil is great, but it's not cheap. So if I'm gonna be paying close to $20 for a cocktail, I will expect you to at least smile when you're trying to seat me somewhere. That's not the only place that does that kind of stuff. I will never understand if that is a marketing thing. I will never understand that. That's it. Never. I will never understand that, because when I go to a Mexicano, that is just as top notch to me, but they are like more down to earth. They make you feel home, they make you feel welcome. Every waiter and waitress and the managers and their mothers and their cousins, they make you feel like you have arrived and that you are that person. And it makes the experience so much better than when you go to a beautiful place and then the greeting team is making you look, or is making you feel not as welcome. Just know you belong everywhere, and just go and enjoy all the beautiful restaurants that we have here in Arizona, because that is one thing about Arizona. We have pretty good bougie restaurants. And the people in the restaurant thing, field industry, they know what they are doing here. Decor, food, for the most part, food is good, and drinks and all that kind of stuff. But just as an experience, those expensive bougie restaurants are so worth it, just for the ambience. Go and get dolled up, looking cute, go get a drink, even if it's just for an hour, go back home. And this is coming from a person that I don't like leaving my house. I'm not the type of person that is going out every single weekend. When you see me out, that's happening like once in a blue moon. But when I do go out, I like to go to places that has the vibe that I like, which is very chill, and that kind of forces you to dress up, because I love dressing up. I feel like this life has gotten so casual that, and especially as a fashion designer, like, of course I want to dress up and feel myself and look like that girl when I'm out there, because it's like that's not something that we do every single day, you know. Like right now I'm wearing my working outfit, like I'm receiving clients in a little bit, and but when I am out, I want to be a little more like in my heels, and I'm a little more heavier makeup, and you know, feeling a little extra special, like just romanticizing life, because I feel like everything is just falling apart out there. And we really need to be in charge of romanticizing the little moments that we are fortunate to get while we are alive. Anyway, let me not get too deep, because I have been working on more custom items for my closet, because I wanted to I'm working on about 8 to 10 new pants, because I want them all made from 100% wool. This is actually one of them that I just made not too long ago. And I also want to have the elastic waistband with the belt loops and stuff like that, and it needs to be comfy with the pockets on the side. So I have been working on that, and I'm probably, once I'm done with all of them, I'll probably take some photos and put it on the website as a link for references. I'm also going to be making myself a couple of denim that are a little more comfortable, because the ones that I have right now, as much as I love them, now they are too tight, because I guess I'm eating a little too much. They are too tight, like on my belly and on my hips, and I don't like that feeling. I don't like to feel like I'm suffocating. So I'm gonna be making myself a couple of denim, wide legs, my style, totally comfortable and chic and timeless. But first I wanted to do my basics, like my blacks and browns, because these are things that I use for my work, for midweek meetings, and also my volunteering work, my service work. Oh, and that's another thing. I make two of each, especially for pants, because these ones are the ones that are for sneakers and flats and for like the airport. I can use this for the airport. But I like having the same style 2 inches longer because for my platforms and my heels. I have a couple of platforms that are almost 4 inches tall. And when I am wearing slacks or pants or whatever, I like them to be over the platform. So when I'm standing, my toes are not showing. That look is just with like a shirt or something and a nice belt. Yes, unless I know that is strictly for sneakers or flats, then I have to make two of the same pants in the same color because I need one for flats and one for my heels. So I'm having fun with that, especially once I figure out the design and my patterns are already made. I get so excited because it's just a matter of cutting and putting it together. Once I know what I want to do with the fabric, is game on. It's game on, baby. I also went to Casa Grande for my spiritual assembly with jw.org. So that happened on the 14th. And oh, every time I'm in Casa Grande with the friends in these calm spiritual moments, you have no idea. I don't even get up from my seat because I just want to be I'm like so chill when I'm there that I just say hi to the friends from a distance, or if I run into them when I'm like going to the bathroom or whatever, or lunch or whatever. But for the most part, I just like to go and sit down and just take it all in and watching everybody smiling and loving each other genuinely, and that was amazing. So that happened. That was another highlight of the month of February, and it was very exciting to me. I didn't cook anything exciting this month that is worth sharing other than pasta and maybe some rice and chicken, which is usually what I do for my meal prepping. That's a highlight, but it's like also to let you know that bad things happen, because that happened. My car is pretty new, and those tires were supposed to be in my vehicle for another like 3 years because the tires were like in good condition. So that ended up costing me over $1,000 to replace the tires, because unfortunately I'm that girl that I couldn't just replace the two tires. It was the one of the back tires. So I like having the same brand of tires in my car at all times. So yeah, so I had to replace all the tires. That was over $1,000, something that was not part of the plan or the budget or whatever. But grateful that God provides, and I had the little emergency money to put it towards the vehicle. And I feel like nowadays cars are so expensive and they are more demanding than a child. Like, I got that car 2 years ago, and it's like, oh, now let's get the covers, and now let's get this, and now let's, you know what I'm saying? It's always like demanding little hints of money sucking situation, and I'm like, I don't like it. Always remember to make the best of anything, whether it's good or whether it's bad, because there are certain things that we don't have any control over it. And instead of being frustrated about it, you're allowed to be frustrated. Be frustrated as long as you want, but just don't stay there. Oh, one down that happened this month? I got a huge tire thing, flat tire. And It was actually coming from Casa Grande that that happened. It was the biggest piece of metal that could have ever existed in life, that have ever existed in life, decided to get in my way coming home from Casa Grande and got into my tire, and there was no way to save them at all. But we were rescued by, God somehow, because I was driving with a couple of my girlfriends, and I was so proud of myself because it's like I didn't panic. I was like a flat tire in the middle of the freeway has always been one of my biggest fear. But because I kind of like always had it in the back of my mind, I learned from some other people, like if you ever get a flat tire on the freeway, like don't panic, just try to get your way. Don't brake, just keep going, but make your way to, the side or something, to a safe place that you can just stop the car without braking heavily. And the way that I implemented that day on that freeway by the airport, somewhere in there, like exiting, I don't even know what is that, the 202 or is that the 10? I don't remember. But it's that intersection that you leave the airport and then get on the 51, like that Washington Street area. It's a very dangerous area. And of course, it had to happen there. And of course, it had to happen with people in my car because I'm always, for the most part, driving alone. So that was pretty interesting. But I kept it together, and the calmness of God, took over my body. And I was just really chill. I was like, okay, well, we got AAA. Let's go ahead and call them. It was like the three of us really just wanted to be home early. And then that happened. And all three of us were like, at the end of the day, we ended up just chilling at my place for a couple of hours, talking and having a little tequila. And to me, it was a wonderful experience. Sometimes I look back at things like that and I'm like, well, maybe Jehovah wanted that to happen because it was a beautiful bonding moment for me and the friends that day. So I really think about that and I treasure moments like that because I'm not really a spontaneous person when it comes to doing anything that is outside my schedule. And I was so looking forward to be home early that day and just call it the day with a little dinner and watching TV and going to bed. But life had other plans and it still ended up extremely beautiful. So if anything, that is something that I am working on myself, to just go with the flow a little better because I am so structured that sometimes I feel I'm so disciplined that maybe I am missing out in beautiful moments that happen last minute. I don't know how to explain it, but that moment was beautiful and it helped me get closer to those girlfriends that were in my car that day when it happened. And hopefully it will be, one of them is my friend from the longest time. The other one we're reconnecting, and I really like her, and she's so beautiful and so sweet. So we kind of like bonded a little better that night, and it was because of that accident. I don't know, and hopefully it's the beginning of a beautiful relationship with, girlfriend, sisterhood, and all that kind of stuff. Because that's what I like. I don't like any drama. I don't like chisme or none of that stuff. So it's like that's why my group of friends is so little, literally like a handful of people, because I don't have energy or extra time for drama, like on purpose. Do not forget to share, like, comment, subscribe, and do all of the stuff that you do on YouTube to support my small channel to keep growing. And I will see you on the next one.